feel any one person who gets this thing and or has a loved one who dies, tragedy, not to diminish anyone's personal tragedy. But in terms of a society, what the hell? We should be surfing all shoulder to shoulder.
Let's get into this part here. Ban on surfing. I'm really.
Oh my goodness.
How did we avoid this? But yeah, I mean, you guys, you're in Encinitas. Where are you?
In Cardiff by the sea, which is Encinitas. It's a fancier name.
Robbie Avocado, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you guys had a ban on surfing. I mean, you got it. Can you walk me through your ticket, actually? Yeah.
Tickets. I mean, yeah. So literally, the first one was pedaled on the bike. Wasn't even trying to surf or do anything illegal. Pedaled down. Got hungry with the wife. Stopped at a local restaurant. Took takeout and then took it across the street to just boulders that were beach adjacent, like on private property, and got slammed. And just the overreach is what made me crazy.
What was their demeanor? Were they like right off the bat, like yelling at you, or was it more like, hey?
The lifeguard rolled up first and said, "Hey, I got a sheriff behind me," and we saw the sheriff jeep, and he said he's going to tell you to get off the beach. And I said, "But we're not on the beach. Like we're sitting on these rocks on private property." And he said, "Oh, I don't. Yeah, whatever. Tell that to him." I'm just telling you, I'm not telling you to move. I'm telling you this guy's going to tell you to move. And I said, okay, well, then I'll ask him. And so that guy rolled up and I asked for clarification and then just got like jackbooted. I mean, it was just classic, stupid, authoritarian bullshit. Like just the fact that I dared ask what the requirements were then guaranteed my ticket. So it was that. It was asking what I was supposed to be doing because I wasn't on the beach. I was doing everything appropriately as far as I understood. Nobody around. I wasn't being rebellious. So I just wanted to know, what are the rules? And got jacked for wanting to know the rules. But
I hate that shit.
It's always, and law enforcement. And I know that we love law enforcement, but we don't. I fucking hate law enforcement. So happy when my young 7-year-old daughter flips them off anytime they pass. But
I'm not going to comment. I have a lot of good friends. But I totally get where you're coming from, though.
But I mean, in New York is a different thing, right? Where there is
dude.
It is, but it kind of is. The level of law enforcement you need there is a different level of law enforcement required in Solana Beach, Encinitas, like on a boulder, right? There needs to be no jackboot. Like everyone was doing what they were told. There was nobody near, right? We were following the letter of the law to the T. And so somebody just wanting to be, authoritarian because this is their moment to shine in a jackboot economy.
So now, do you think, so how do I ask this? Like, your experience that you just had is very common for most African Americans and minorities in this country, right?
Sure.
And like, so it's interesting, right? Like you've had this experience, and you have this consistency against the whole cop. So I'm like, that's totally appropriate. But I think with surfers, I find it interesting watching on social media complain about the cops targeting them and mistreating them. And I find it like a little humorous. And I know a bunch of my neighbors here would probably find it kind of funny. Like,
I would hope.
Welcome to my world, in some ways.
I would hope this moment, I mean, it gave me, for the first time in my life, obviously, as a straight white male, married, gave me the first taste in my life of what it feels like. Any other kind of feeling I've been of this has been overseas, where I have been fish out of water and out of place and all that. Being here and feeling a system that is specifically gearing against you made me think, I mean, after this stupid thing is done, surfers and every single African American and Hispanic American and every single community that's oppressed, I mean, surfers should be like, oh, wait, we as white males for once experience this? Because, I mean, let's be honest, surfers
That's what I'm hoping.
White males. And so,
Many, about
yeah,
70-20 split between female.
I mean, let's just say all of them. But yeah, I mean, it's white males and white females who can now feel for 1 second what oppression feels like in the simplest, stupidest way.
Totally.
Every one of us should join like the
Like
NCAACP,
Black Lives Matter more and support that. Like
all of it,
I
every
honestly
bit of
like
it.
I really like I watched this and I found it so humorous and I was just like, look, I get it. Like I understand their feelings. Like I grew up surfing in New York where surfing was totally banned. We would go to the beach. I watched kids get their boards confiscated from them just for walking with surfboards. So
Yeah,
I get that idea of like, oh, I can't surf. What the fuck? Fuck you,
sure.
authority. But then I also found it humorous. I'm like, you entitled people, like
Precisely.
you're just getting harassed with the surfboard. A lot of people in this country get harassed just for standing around
For
and
being born that way, right? Well, I mean,
exactly,
if this
exactly.
if this stinking, like, it's odd and maybe an entire blessing that even news media wise, right, that surfers became in the media, like surfing being banned and outlawed and surfers getting tickets and all that became a
Yeah.
thing. If surfers, oh man, I'm gonna throw this to the WSL right now. If surfers, these stinking white privileged males and females, but mostly white, could become champions of some cause, and
That would be fucking amazing.
how great would that be to come out of here? Like,
It
and
would be super cool.
Black Lives Matters times WSL for, yeah, like, don't be smashed for who you are. I'm a surfer. I can't help it.
It's just like it's funny. Like I watch it and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's totally true. I literally and have no idea of the pain and anguish, but when you feel like the thing I do or the thing that I am is somehow against the law,
it
at the
feels shitty, man. It's
and at the
awful.
and
And
at for us
I
at
can't
the
even.
cheesiest level, like we have no idea, but having 1 second of insight, one tiny peek into what they deal with every single day. Yeah, I mean, surfers should all be. What? My wife just informed me
Oh,
she's going for a surf. Did I
you
get for
make me jealous right
podcasting?
now.
I know, I love you
Are
too.
you going?
No, I'm no,
You need to go. You got a bunch of kids.
I'm podcasting and watching the kids.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's what I get. Have fun.
Well, you can share. I'll share in the pain with you then.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, you can share in the pain with me. I wouldn't leave you alone here.
Thank you very much. Oh, so painful. Yeah, it's funny, and I just, but it also has been interesting is watching surfers in different communities and how they react to the ban. Like our friend John Brooks in Florida, they got a petition going and worked with the community and worked with the local government, and eventually, Derek Dunphy did that, but it took like some antagonism, unfortunately, to get to that point. But it's been interesting to see how that goes. And then Malibu, just people fucking just think, I'm going to go and fucking surf, and get $1,000 fine.
The weird thing is seeing how local jurisdiction and local politics plays into this whole thing has been fascinating and weird. Because I think Encinitas' thing is totally obscenely, like, it's just absurd. And I've been put on the threads of like, you hit them up here and whatever. But they have a decision and they're doing it. And it's based on nothing, right? Like every day there's a new closure here, even though, again, and not to minimize anything that's happening in New York, but this is not New York. There's like, hospitals are empty. Hospital workers are getting furloughed because there's nobody in the hospital. Mm-hmm. We have sort of natural social distancing just in the fact that, it's single family dwellings and it's wide open spaces. And like whatever makes here is different than New York and different than, major urban metropolises. Mm-hmm. But to treat them like it is to look at the, like, the arc of New York and think, okay, we need to treat Encinitas this way. Is to me, it's just insane. It's insane. And I think all these local politicians, are are thinking worst case scenario. If there's an outbreak, then I'm going to be blamed. But thinking worst case scenario, there's the worst case scenario is always shit, right? Why not think, oh, okay, let's go middle case scenario here. What if we keep the beaches open, keep people surfing? It's naturally socially distanced. Like, let's stop the bikers from riding in pelotons.
I think one thing the local governments should be doing is trying to outreach into the community and say, hey, how can we help this situation, or how can we make this more livable for you? And maybe we can find a compromise. Like, maybe this could be the dawn of proper surf etiquette, where people get in the water and it's almost like a proper line where you have to wait and you have to say a distance. And because of COVID.
How funny! Baldy here. There's a ski hill, which is not a good one, but Baldy is like the easy one to get to in Los Angeles. Started basically selling, or not basically, they started selling tee times, right? Where you could go just this week. You could go snow or ski or snowboard, but you bought your slot. Where I was thinking, what if not to purchase it, but what if kind of locals started enforcing, like, hey, we're surfing here and these hours. I mean, they're stinking social media and all that. Like, they could just say, hey, if you're a Val, you could surf in this window. We're surfing here. If you're out in this window, I mean, it seems like the dawn.
Set up a Google Calendar.
Precisely, a glorious like a modern localism. A modern viral localism.
You got to go down to Venice and in Santa Monica and get all those Google employees on this
completely. And just you said, hey, you're not in the Google Calendar to go surf, then I'm sorry.
You have someone wait at the water's edge. They have like the iPad,
exactly, just ticking people off.
Wave for two.
I mean, how great would that be, though? Like, if you just...
That's a wave pool scenario, right?
Oh, damn it. Turning the ocean into the wave pool. This is
I turned you on yourself. I knew I'd turn you to the dark side. But it's funny because my brother surfed the one in Bristol, and he said it was one of the most pleasant experiences of surfing because it was almost like a skate park instead of a dog-eat-dog arena in the water. It was, I don't know, maybe we could do that, but then, fuck, man, then surfers would get really soft, wouldn't we?
But I mean, I just think that we need to get hard in the ocean, where if you feel local at any break, then you need to go assert your, like, anybody who you don't know. I mean, you got to be out there every day to assert your localism, right? Like, where know the guys who are out there, if you're out there regularly. Like, dang, wife's going to go be a local again. I'm going to lose my spot in the hardcore Cardiff local lineup.
I don't know. It could be worse. Like, she could be just watching Real Housewives.
I mean, that's true. She's been itching. Dang it. I can't believe she's doing this without me. But
oh my gosh. She's like really rubbing it in too.
I mean, she's completely rubbing it in. She is, you're doing another podcast.
Let me just wax my board really slowly.
I mean, she's going to bring her board probably right here and just wax. That's probably good too, damn it. But I mean, that's the fun thing about the ocean, right? What? On this podcast?
I would love her to come on. Are you kidding me? I'd be honored. But she would get a special episode.
You get a special episode on Swell.
Honestly.
You get your own
special huge episode. Fan.
Yeah, he's a huge fan. Do you want to take over right now and I'll go surfing? You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Damn it! I tried. Have fun. But I mean, there's something about I love the idea of localism, right? Of where you can surf here and you can't surf here. And because the beauty about it, you can always work your way in. The only measure is like, and just time spent, right? If you care enough, then you will figure it out. If you don't care enough, then you don't belong.
Sometimes. But what if you're in certain places with wealthy population and you need to make a buck and you're a local? What do? You do a surf lesson, maybe? Maybe you take them out in the lineup. All of a sudden, the locals have sold out which has happened in many places.
All that
And I
should be
find that so interesting.
all